Let's follow along and stop our conversations now, okay? Let's turn around and let's focus on this. I know it's Friday, you want to get out of here. I want to get out of here too. But I have a timeline and I want to meet it, okay? I want you to be prepared. Given a word problem, you'll have to read and interpret the question, obviously. And this is the tricky part. We're going to focus on actually producing, like writing the inequality, okay? And what does an inequality do? I'm going to switch colors here. It essentially provides a restriction to possible answers to the question. Keep in mind, as we move along, discrete versus continuous data. If it's discrete, you need to round your POIs at the end of the day. Okay, what's discrete? Things you can count. So coins, people, cans, etc. So example, let's say you were dealing with chairs, like how many chairs are needed. There's large chairs and small chairs, and you come up and you find that the point of intersection is this. 6.91 small chairs and 8 large chairs are needed for this venue. You're like, wait a minute, we're talking chairs, that can't be. So you're going to have to round to a whole number when you get to that point. Continuous data, you don't have to round. So anything that you can't count, that you measure, things you can measure, like length, weight, money, temperature. You're like, you can count money. Yeah, but you can actually, you can have decimals of $1, right? You can have portions of $1, so it's okay. That money is technically in the continuous camp, so don't round. Okay? Here, you do round. So when you go through it, that's just a quick, you know what, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. When we get there, we'll deal with it. So this is somewhat review. You've done continuous, you've done discrete, you've heard about it, should have heard about it. So another thing I need to talk about is in almost all cases, data cannot be negative when it comes to inequalities. Different color. And that means that we're restricted to quadrant 1. And yet a different color just to switch it up right in between. Therefore, we will state the implicit constraint, which is x and y have to be greater than or equal to 0. I'm just going to say we use this notation instead of saying x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay? And y is greater than 0. Like both of them are greater than 0, we don't bother with it. So we use this notation. So make note of that. That's the implicit constraint. It's kind of like it's assumed. The question doesn't have to say it. So here you have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Okay. And so when there's no context, our solution is just all of this. Our solution region is that. What's the POI on this one? Can you, I tried to make it visible. It's hard to see. If you had to estimate, what would it be? 12, 9, right? It's just one corner point there. And now if you have a ruler, this is how things are going to change. Shh. Anna, maybe move if you guys can't. There we go. All right. So here we're going to try to go from in between 20 and 30, just make a mark in between 20 and 30. And make it go through 20. Okay. Go like this. And just make your solid line. So we're trying to copy this stretch right here onto this. Okay. And the next line, just go one box above the 10 and make it land right on the 40 along the x-axis. That's kind of, if you were to copy that over, it's a dashed line, right? And so technically the solution region is this little wedge here. This one right here, you see it? Where my pencil is? That is your solution region. So we shade everything below this, but don't go into the negatives. So that's the tricky part. Now you have to color between the lines. Okay, you thought you'd never use that skill again, right? And the other one, the dashed line, this one, you're above that line. Okay, so here we shade everything above it. And just stay in that quadrant, right? So in this case, my solution region is right there. How many POIs do you think this one will have? It's the same. This one is still there. This one is still with us. But now we also count where it crosses the x-axis, or where it touches the x-axis. Those are also POIs. So POIs is 1, 2, and 3. So that's how it's going to change, right? So we can actually state them. There'll be 12, 9, and then 20, 0, as well as 40, 0. Can you see that on the screen? It's pretty far down there. So that's how things are going to change. So we used to use all 4 quadrants. Now we're going to stick to quadrant 1. So you kind of have to restrict that. Okay. All right. This is the prelude. We're almost done. I want to get to this part where I just want you to write out inequalities. Page 42. I want to see if I added this to your booklet. Okay. Writing inequalities given a word problem. I'm gonna tell you the key words are gonna be on page 48. I'm just gonna cut to the chase here. We're gonna go to page 48 before we start writing inequalities, because I'm just gonna give you a hint, a trick to quickly finding out what inequality symbol do you need. Okay. So let's go to 48. It's a blank page. So you're gonna have to have a choice between this way or the other way, like this. This is what you're gonna look for. If it says up to, if it says at most, all of these mean the same thing. If it says maximum of. If it says capacity of. Like something has the capacity to have, 2 liters in it. Holds up to. No more than. Then you want to use that symbol. This one up here. If it says at least, minimum of, no less than, this or more, like this many or more, you want to use that inequality. Is this covering every scenario? No. You're going to have to maybe on your study sheet, it's like, which one does this apply to, this particular situation? Is it talking this scenario or this scenario? But you've got lots of variations for each inequality symbol. Okay, so keeping that in mind, we're going to write some inequalities here. One second. I'm looking for, I want to cut to the chase here. Where did I put that part? I made a change, that's why. $46, I found it. 46. I don't want you to graph this weekend, I just want you to write inequalities. The graphing part, the systems, yes, but these ones, it does ask you to graph it. I just want you to write inequalities. So homework, write inequalities. So let's pay close attention. I'm going to give you one example. Hopefully that will be it. A company makes motorcycles and bicycles. You will let X be something, Y be something. X will be number of motorcycles. And Y will be number of bicycles. We will just get used to writing this every time. You can't have negative bicycles or negative motorcycles. So this company says makes no more than 400 vehicles in a week. So that means that if I were to combine the number of vehicles that have been made between motorcycles and bicycles, it can be no more than 400. What symbol am I using if it says no more than? If you look at your key there, it's this way, yeah? This way. No more than 400. And read it and see if this makes sense. We've essentially taken this statement and turned it into inequality. So we're saying the number of motorcycles and bicycles has to be less than or equal to 400, right? No more. Like this combination can be no more than 400. It has to stay less than or equal to 400. So you could make 300, you could make 200, you could make 399, you could make 400, but you cannot make more than that, okay? Let's do one more. You can spend up to 10 hours studying for math and science exams. What would X be in this case? What would Y be in this case? X is math and Y is science, but that doesn't make sense right now. Math what? Studying for math in what? What units are we dealing with? Hours. So just say math in hours, science in hours, like that you're studying for those in hours. X plus Y is less than or equal to 10 in this case. The amount of hours you spend can be up to 10 hours. That's what I want you to do with 46 to 47, okay? I will post the key as well, but don't peek until you've tried it, please. You try it first, then you peak. Otherwise, you're not gonna. It's gonna be the easy route. It's not gonna help you.